Hi, my name's Henry Driver. I'm an artist and developer focused on creating projects which connect audiences to nature and ways that we can combat climate change. And for the last 3 years, I've specialised in using Unity to create these projects. Unity is effectively an interactive software, and you can use it to create a range of tools and projects and artworks. Although it was created initially with the idea that it's a game tool, it really is open to your imagination, and whatever you can realistically imagine digitally can be created within it. For example, you create a game, a film, a website, an interactive installation, responsive musical artwork, interactive book. Anything where there's an input coming from a range of different sources, you can then use that within Unity to then control things and make a world that will respond or that you can explore. I'm going to talk you through some past projects using Unity to provide an example of what's possible and ways of working with the software. But I hasten to add that this is really only a small glimpse of what can be achieved with Unity. The most prominent way that I've used Unity is to visualize unseen microscopic worlds, such as in Secrets of Soil, which was commissioned by BBC Arts and Arts Council England for the New Creatives Interactive projects. Secrets of Soil is an interactive journey exploring the hidden world of soil and its role in combating climate change. And through the experience, the audience will meet and interact with the various life forms that live in the soil. This is an explorative experience where players and audiences can traverse and travel throughout the soil, navigating this 360 degrees interactive environment. To achieve this, I created 3D models of the microorganisms, roots, and soil elements in a free software called Blender, and then built the world in Unity. Bringing in all those models and combining them and composing them to build a huge three-dimensional digital world that you can explore. Now, through this, you can be really playful because there's numerous ways in which a 3D model can be visualized to appear. I tried to make it so every level or chapter within Secrets of Soil felt visually different. The bright and vivid style was inspired by the scientific imagery which I was responding to, and I wanted to create a moving, morphing, and communicating world. Another way of working in Unity is to download pre-made 3D models. These can be free or can cost small or even large amounts of money. I use this for the foundation of my project, Lost Letters from a Lost Generation. In this experience, the audience lives through the uncensored letter from my great-great-uncle who fought and died in World War I. They relive his experience going through a visualization of his letter. For this project, I wanted to create a visual style that was inspired by the great war artists of the time, such as Paul Nash's black and white woodcuts that capture the dire desolation of the war. And I wanted to try and achieve this in a 3D interactive form. And this, I feel, is a nice example of just the range of different aesthetics that you can achieve within Unity. We've gone from a really bright and vivid style in Secrets of Soil to this harsh, monochromatic, and almost somewhat dreamlike blurring within Lost Letters. Directly following on from Lost Letters from a Lost Generation, I created Remembrance, which is an online work which was created in Unity, but it runs on browsers. So the two projects that I've already shown you, those would run on PC or Mac, whereas Remembrance will run in an audience's internet browser, and it's also a time-based artwork. Remembrance is based on the BBC statistic that 2 people die every minute from conflicts around the world. I created it in 2018, and the work has been running since that time. What I mean by that is from its creation in 2018, it has been creating a monument every 30 seconds to commemorate people who have died in conflicts around the world, and adding that. So it's now been running for 5 years, adding a monument based on that BBC statistic that 2 people die every minute from conflicts around the world. And the game aims to raise awareness for the bitter conflicts that continue to rage around the world. The final project that I want to talk to you about is TEO, which is a collaborative project between myself and Barbara Dugan, and it was commissioned by Collusion. TEO combines artificial intelligence, face tracking, and feature detection alongside with live computer-generated imagery to enable participants to control and animate virtual avatars that will mimic your facial expressions and movements. And with TEO, we wanted to explore the potentially revolutionary possibilities as well as dystopian outcomes of virtual avatars. Will we use them to vanquish the human form and all its pressures and trappings, creating unique forms for the virtual world instead? Or will the technology be designed to impose societal, hierarchical and corporate conventions and determine how our bodies are represented? So obviously through this, we wanted to think of new ways that technology could allow us to visualize our bodies. And with that, we explored generative imagery within Unity, where there's these feedback loops of visuals and effects going back around on themselves to create these new types of aesthetics and ways of visualizing a body. Quite a lot of the time, I'm not really sure what was happening, but that was exactly the plan. And that's one of my favorite spaces when working with Unity, is to push the software to breaking point or a destination never thought of before, and for it to respond in an unimaginable way to that. I wanted to speak about ways to digitally release your Unity projects. To begin with, I used to show my Unity projects in galleries. However, since Secrets of Soil, my focus has moved to digitally releasing them onto a platform called Steam. Steam is a digital marketplace mainly used to download video games, and it has millions and millions of people accessing it every day. However, I found Steam to be a brilliant place to host digital artwork too, as it allows you to bring this work to a potentially massive audience who normally play video games. Because the boundaries between an experimental video game and a digital interactive artwork can be pretty blurred depending on the type of work you create. And with a lot of my artwork since being inspired by video games in some manner, it made total sense to start making my projects available to gaming audiences too. And I had a fantastic response to this. With Secrets of Soil being featured and positively reviewed by major gaming publications and websites, as well as showing at leading games festivals and even being nominated for a Learning Game Award. Sure, this required a lot of work to promote and send the work to all these places. But what I loved is there's so many networks, communities and ways to promote a game in comparison to trying to promote a digital artwork, where the mainstream framework and community is lacking or not fully developed. And I believe this resulted in Secrets of Soil having a large and international audience beyond what I'd ever imagined was possible for my work previously. So I really recommend exploring whether you could distribute your work on Steam in this manner.